Sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the post-weekend melees of a Monday. But I'm in a good mood. I'm a little bit mellow today. I know that you guys have had some interesting weekends. We're going to talk a little bit about it and the problems with household pets, problems with cell phones, and Defo, Jeff Defo DeForest here on the Lunchbox along with Mike Lubie Lubitz. Defo, when I told you to lose my number, I didn't mean for you to lose the thing that had my number. So
I wouldn't be able to contact you. That's for sure. You know what? I fell victim to something, and it's funny because I was talking about this morning. I had seen a horoscope that said you're going to mock something that should be serious, and I was making fun of the Mustangs' paranoia about getting robbed at gas stations. I didn't get actually robbed, but my phone was stolen out of my car while I was at a gas station.
Wait. You were pumping the gas. You left.
No, I wasn't pumping gas. What happened was
don't tell me you went inside. You went inside.
I always go inside, but I usually lock my car if I'm pumping gas.
And you leave the phone in the car?
I leave my phone in the car quite a bit. Yeah, I put it usually in a console. But in this case, I was going into a store for like a minute. There was nobody around. I parked on what would have been the side of the gas station because that's where the parking spaces were for cars that weren't getting gas. Inadvertently, just forgot to lock my car, which I always do. So went inside, came out, phone was gone.
And now, there's no way to get in touch with you and rag on you for various bets or prop bets or anything like that. And
did you win all of your bets?
No, I'm not even going to get into
glad
that.
I lost my phone. All right.
You belie the adage of, that you can take the boy out of Brooklyn, you can't take the Brooklyn out of the boy. You've lost your Brooklyn. I mean, when I grew up, we always locked our doors and windows, and we always
I never worried about it. It
all
depended
valuable
on stature in Brooklyn when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
As I've told the story many times, inadvertently I had a new Schwinn stolen by the kingpin of the neighborhood, Richie D'Angelo.
Yeah, and he said if he knew if it was you, he would
have never stolen it. And in general, people, if they knew it was your stuff, they would leave it alone. That was always a sign that you had kind of made it in society, that people just left you alone.
Was this a new iPhone 14?
Oh, no, nothing fancy. I could have had a replace. It turns out I had another one, so I'm going to activate that today.
Wait.
Yes.
Time out. Was it even an iPhone?
It was an iPhone, and it would have cost me about $250 to replace it with the insurance. I don't have cat insurance, but I did have insurance on that.
I'm going to do the little Mike Mayo prosecution here. What is the value of a Jeff Defo DeForest phone? I mean, is it extra?
Zero.
Because
honestly, I know people still did that. Like everyone has a phone. And you can just
I don't know what are these guys doing them. They recondition them. They sell them to some wholesale joint. I mean, who buys these things off of the people?
Yes, but and how do you handle that? Do you immediately call your phone carrier?
Cancel the account. Yeah, that's it.
And do you have any kind of like banking things or apps?
I have nothing, no bank apps or anything like that. I mean, they might be able to book a tennis reservation on the phone, but other than that,
or Francesco.
They could pay for parking, I guess, with the app. I don't know. Does it become totally inoperable after that? But I had no, considerably valuable information like banks, or I don't do any banking on the phone or credit cards or anything like that.
All right. Well, that's good news. It is
a disaster, though. I mean, it's funny. Back in the day, what did you do? We never had cell phones that we carried. Now you're completely lost without it.
Oh, yeah. You're dependent on these things.
Yeah.
It's like, and it makes you say, how did we live before these things? And we'd have to actually like go schlep out and find.
Probably lived fine. Yeah. We actually talked to people.
Well, yeah, we actually had socialization and a democracy that functioned instead of everybody just being on their phone and going to Facebook and yelling at each other about politics or food or whatnot. But and then Lubie, I mean, before we get into the food and sports, and I wanted to start with the sports harangue, but Lubie, I just wanted to get update on. Apparently, you had some cat issues. What exactly happened? And we do love our furry friends here on the Lunchbox. Sometimes I like to eat some furry friends, but no, not dogs and cats, not the domestic animals.
You've been to China? No,
stop that.
They're not
Racist
giving.
talk. We
At
don't
least
want
from what
that.
I saw in China, they did not give us cat.
No, they didn't serve that. All right.
They eat
Scratch that
horses
from-
in France and
from the
Japan. They
record.
do.
Yeah.
They did eat dogs in Korea at one
I mean,
time.
it was an old joke. It was a
They
bad
eat
joke. Right?
grasshoppers in
The whole
in
thing
Mexico.
about cats and appetizers. I mean,
Yeah,
that
no,
was a
I don't think
let's
that's an actual
Yeah.
practice. Yeah, it was. I loved animals. I still do. I don't know if I love them as much as the amount of money I spent Saturday night on my cat. My
That's
wife.
a tough call. That's a tough call at that number. It really is.
Now, how much? Okay, so you had an emergency. Something happened to your cat, right? And
My cat had a string sticking out of her rear. And my wife noticed it, and I'm like,
did
"Who
it
cares?"
swallow a yo-yo? What happened? How does a string
Honestly,
get
I
in
would
there?
rather. Or maybe I don't know if that would have been better. So, and I'm like, who cares? It's a string, and she's like really annoyed by the string, and we like mess with it for like a half an hour, and we realize it's not coming off because animals get stuff stuck to them.
All right, this is too bad of an image for the
Coming out of
lunchbox. Adam.
her. So we went to the emergency. So she looks on Google, and they're like, "Yeah, don't mess with it. Cats do this a lot, and it's usually not good. So go to a vet." So of course it's 9:30 on a Saturday, so you can't go to a vet. You have to go to an emergency clinic. That's always affordable. So we went there Saturday night, and we were there till about 11:30 Saturday night. They had to do. I guess it's emergency surgery if they're doing a surgery at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that would be an emergency. Yeah, that's
So they did
call them
surgery at
heavy
1
hitters.
o'clock to
That
remove
sounds
it.
expensive.
Yes, she had swallowed some metal clip or something, and it was sitting in there, and it was sharp, so you couldn't risk it moving.
All right, but
It is
the cat's
surgery.
okay.
She's fine. We'll get her.
But your wallet is not okay.
My
Your bank
wallet,
account is not
and we're
okay.
selling a house, and we're buying a house. So
Oh,
you can't really
Jesus.
do stuff with credit cards. Thank
Do you
God
want to
it-
say how much you spent on this?
I want to? No, I don't want to. I can.
But it was a 4-figure thing.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
just say you could have gone for like 10 dinners at Carbone in South Beach for the amount
Probably.
of money.
Maybe
That's
not 10.
more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then
Not according to your critique there, where some guy spent like $4.80 for like a bologna sandwich there. That was
No,
unbelievable.
actually it was 3 couples, and I think
Oh.
each couple's share was $4.80
Each.
at
Oh,
Carbone.
wow. 500
And I was looking at the menu. We're going to talk about that more later, but I wanted to start.
You were not thrilled with that report, by the way.
Well, no. Well, first of all, because I grew up in Brooklyn with look, Carbone is like this hip and trendy thing that started in New York that was very well received in New York in Lower Greenwich Village. But it's basically a ripoff of nostalgia of all these great Italian American red sauce joints that I grew up with. Like in Coney Island, there was a place called Gargiulo's, and then there's a place called Bamonte's in downtown Brooklyn. And these guys who've worked at some high-end restaurants, and they know what they're doing, but they basically reconceptualize the humble red sauce Italian joint and turned it into like this chic, trendy thing where they're charging $96 for a veal Parmesan, which is on the bone. But the thing is, they slice it with a pizza cutter and they put on this show. And it's like, I don't want my veal parm cut up like a pepperoni pie. I you know what? I can't judge because I haven't been there yet. I think I might be going. I might be taking my daughter for a pre-birthday celebration. So I gotta hit.
Who's
either,
paying? Lubie? Because
no, Lubie's tapped out.
a nickel for 2 people is
and I
getting a
made
little
like
steep.
see, I got into it like yesterday when this whole thread started because I just looked at the menu prices and my mouth dropped and jaw dropped, and I objected on principle. And I would say I would never go there, but it's it's like a place for all these celebrities. The one in New York attracts all these celebrities. The one in South Beach. Remember they did the thing during the Grand Prix. They set up the tent on the beach.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
the
right.
Carbone on the beach
How
for
was that place?
$3,000 a head for 4
Yeah.
nights, and apparently they sold out every night. They grossed $2 million every night.
That was
for 4
appetizers
nights in a
only
row.
though, for $3. Appetizers only for $3. They were charging $38 per shrimp. Like if you wanted a shrimp scampi.
Yeah.
And the menu it said 38, and it was per shrimp.
And the guy who critiqued it, who went there, I guess, for an occasion,
He said he was never going back though.
he said he's never going back. He said he
Yeah.
went with. He said he had, and again,
He
if
took
you're
it like
gonna
a man, like I did.
I don't
when
mind
losing my phone.
spending money. I've had some extravagant meals in my lifetime. I've gone to French Laundry, things that I had to pay out of my own pocket before I had a expense account from the newspaper. But sometimes when you get treated like royalty and every moment and every bite is memorable, then you say, you know what? It's worth the money. Expense doesn't matter. I had a lifetime experience. But a place like this, the guy, like they showed up, They were forced to wait. They had a reservation. They made them sit outside. They thought they had an inside reservation. They just felt like
I thought it was a
disrespected.
review of Houston's at first.
And then on top of that, it's extremely expensive, and the guy just felt fleeced. And he wrote a review on the Facebook group, and it caused a lot of chatter. And then I looked at the menu, and then a guy who was a fan of the place basically jumped in and defended it, and then said, "I'm surprised at you, Mike. I would think you would have an open mind." And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do like to be fair. But I have no interest in going and paying for myself. But if you're treating, I'll go with you, and I'll
get
check
out of
it
here.
out.
He invited you to go?
He did, but then get this.
Really?
And this is a guy who says he's run into you at Pompano, at the certain parimutuel facilities. But the bottom line is
there's
the guy,
a surprise that he would find me there.
And this is a place where you have to make a reservation. They have reservations online 30 days in advance, but it all gets booked up, and they withhold everything for their friends and cronies. And you have to know somebody. I could probably make 2 calls and get in there, but I have no interest in doing that. I don't want to pull any rank or call in any favors from other Miami sources and publicists and things like that.
What about this rich guy that goes to the track?
Well, no. So
couldn't he just become your benefactor on racing bets or something like that?
Could be.
Never mind a meal. Yeah,
but. No, so here's what I did. I go online. I try to suss out a reservation. The only thing I found was a Tuesday night, 3 weeks from now, like the 25th,
9:30 p.m.
It was the choices of 6 p.m. indoors or 11 p.m. It was the only things they had was 6 p.m. or 11.
When did they close?
And I guess not until 3 in the morning. I bet their last seating was 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah,
and that's when the rubes from the who fell off the turnip truck get the seats. I don't mind going in early. It's like the early flight or the first surgery the day.
South Beach is that where it is? South Beach?
Yeah, South Beach. But everybody is fresh. The kitchen is, they're on their game. They're not running out of anything. I'd rather go to a restaurant early. I'd rather take the first flight out in the morning. I'd rather get the first colonoscopy of the day while everybody's fresh. These are the things I like. I don't mind
to use a paid
early.
Toilet during the day. Yeah, exactly.
You went there during the.
I had to. I knew
I
you
said
were put that on the list. Yeah.
Yes. So, but I took the 6 o'clock Tuesday reservation. I showed the guy. I screenshot it. I put it up in the link. I said, "Okay, you're on. I've got this date." And then he comes back with, "Oh, I work in Boca. I can't get down there that early. I can only do weekends."
Typical track guy. Typical track guy.
And so he I don't want to say he reneges, but I looked. There's no weekend reservation, no availability anytime.
Well, doesn't he have pull air since he defended him, the lone defender?
I have no idea, but you know what I ended up doing? I'm keeping the reservation.
No.
Yeah. Get this, because I want to check the place out. I want to give it a fair shot. Even though I'm loath to pay those prices, but it is going to be my daughter's 17th birthday coming up a few weeks after that. So
you're making her pay.
No, yeah, she's the one making the big. She has more in her bank account right now than me with this, scooping ice cream. It's been pretty lucrative for her, and she's been saving all her pennies. But no, I'm going to take her for an early birthday dinner, just me and her, daughter dinner. And we'll see.
It's a bad move, Mayo. You were dared into it, kind of, and tricked into it.
That's okay.
And maybe this guy has something to do with the restaurant because he fooled you into making a reservation.
My daughter loves kind of these trendy celebrity factory places. Although we're never going to see a celebrity at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday.
6 on a Tuesday, I would imagine most of the rappers will be in there, and all of the high end celebs. Definitely.
I don't care. You know what? I don't care.
On a Tuesday with
me and my daughter are going to have a nice experience. We'll see how they treat. A father and daughter with the 17-year-old, or if maybe they mistake her for.
They'll probably know it's you. They'll probably know it's you. They'll see the name. They'll know it's you. It happened to me again over the weekend. Playing tennis before the aforementioned ill-fated phone swiping, and a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while says, "Hey, how you doing? I hear you on the radio." And I'm like, "Well, I haven't been on the radio in a year." And he says, "Yeah, with that Mayo guy."
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, again with this?
It's so funny.
I
Why
can't
are you
shake it.
that people actually like and listen to our show.
I'm not surprised by that. I'm just surprised that that's the only way, that they're,
40
aware
years.
that I'm still alive is from the Mayo show, which may be, I mean, any way they know you're still working, that's good. But
it's a good thing.
Again, with the Mayo show on the radio, my friend Rocky, who looks great, by the way, he's gone in a reverse direction of most people. He's lost like 100 pounds and looks terrific out there. So that was nice.
The radio show, and don't forget the live streaming on the
streaming.
South
I could
Florida
see because I mean that's one thing, but how are people? How are people finding this thing when the oldies station switched us to 8:00 at night and they're still listening? It's amazing.
Because that people are this market. They I would imagine the people that you hang out with do like the oldies channel. I do too. I like those songs that they're playing.
I don't need to hear oldies on the radio. I mean, there's too much music available just off your phone to be listening to a radio station that's playing. I don't know.
Don't be knocking the
incense,
radios.
peppermints,
got
whatever that is.
Okay, so I want to get back to the restaurant for a second because I actually like this kind of Italian. And Mayo, my wife, make fun of it. No,
I don't make fun of it. I think it's good. I love it. I'm not
gonna go spend money. I can make it at my house: chicken parm and chicken marsala, chicken franchise. Fine, I don't debate that, but I like it, and I would spend money at a restaurant. My thing is, I can also understand why some restaurants are more money. The kind of steak you get at one place is a different level with the marbling and whatnot. What's different about this veal parm because it has I don't understand what makes it. Why? Because Snoop Dogg may be there. I don't understand.
We're gonna find out. That's the whole point of what I do sometimes. And even though I might have to bite the bullet money wise, and I'm gonna have to win a poker tournament soon.
You can write it off. It's a business. We'll talk.
That's the beauty of my life now. Every one of these.
Can't you write it off to Let's Eat South Florida for the experience?
Write it off anywhere.
Yeah.
There is no. Well,
where's the expense account?
Someday, I guess maybe we could do a fundraiser to feed me on Let's Eat South Florida.
Don't write it off to this show because I don't want you to go.
Yeah. I don't know how that would go over, but the bottom line. And speaking of Let's Eat South Florida, gentlemen. I don't know if you want to wish me a happy anniversary or the group, but yesterday was the 4-year anniversary.
That's all. 4 years. I thought
that's all. Yeah, 4 years. It feels like forever
to you. Yeah, but didn't you cross? Did you cross 90,000 now?
We're on the verge. We're I think 100 away from 90,000. So it's coinciding with our 4th anniversary. I put up a little post yesterday.
I saw that.
Congratulating ourselves. A little orgy of self-congrat. No, it was. Look, when we started this thing, who knew what it's going to turn into? And it's been a fun ride. Sometimes it's really infuriating. Sometimes it's really fun. It's informative. You find out new places to go check out. Sometimes you get into food fights and talk about tipping and all the things that makes Tom Tanazzini want to go fishing. Who would have thunk that 4 years later, at 90,000 people, that's the size of a small city or a large stadium. So
you may as well be named Kardashian. I mean, to have this kind of social media following.
It's not a national thing. It's not a national reach. But,
right.
When I hear things like I was surprised to hear that, Trevor Noah is leaving The Daily Show. But then I heard that the daily viewership of The Daily Show on Comedy Central now is down to 350,000 a day.
Really?
Yeah, and again, because I guess the whole traditional TV things, it's all dying. Now everybody puts up little clips and, maybe something that's a hot take or a good little segment gets 2 or 3 million views. That's where on a YouTube channel. That's why we're doing what we're doing now on Facebook Live and on Facebook and with South Florida Live. And, because that's the future. But the bottom line is, the Let's Eat group has been fun. It's been rewarding. Here we are. We're streaming a show on it now. And, the 4th anniversary for a wedding anniversary. I don't know if either of you, both of you have made the 4-year threshold.
A couple of times.
Oh no, Lubie,
I've gotten there. I haven't gotten to.
Lubie had the under on 4 years. That first one.
First marriage. Made it to 2 years. This marriage.
Oh wow, that was a short termer. Okay, now I made it to almost 10, but the 4-year anniversary. Traditionally, the gift is either flowers or fruit. So if you were going to give a fruit to Let's Eat South Florida, which fruit would it be?
I'm throwing a peach out there because it's been good. You see another side of it because you work the thing and you have to screen all of the different commentaries that are made. And then I like the fact that you're feisty, man. You get involved, man. You'll fight the people that you disagree with on Let's Eat South Florida, even though you're like the guy running the show. it would be like, well, I don't even want to use the example of a Supreme Court justice because we don't know where they're coming from
How about
anymore,
like
but,
Neil Rogers? It's like a Neil Rogers type thing where you get a little contentious with the
well,
audience.
you know what was great about Neil? I mean, he could make a food place. There's no doubt about it with his mentions on the radio, and he had a very powerful following. He could make a food place, just by mentioning it and saying that it was good. And you wield some of that power also, Mike Mayo, which
I don't know
is
if
a
I
reason that like a lot of restaurateurs cower in fear when your name is brought up.
I don't want anybody to.
That's my new
fear us.
approach to telling things. You know,
Yeah.
Mayo's going to come in here and he
Well,
might review it.
well, first of all, not from the negative part, but what's cool about the page, the group, as much as we lament the negatives, look, Brian from Wicked Cheesesteak couldn't get enough.
Yeah.
He said so many people have come in here from that group. And I don't know about you guys, because I guess he watches our show and we focus on the negative. He's like, but they've all been positive. Like they all love the page, came here because of it, and were positive about our place on the page. So I'm grateful for it because it's brought people attention to our place. And that's what we've talked about so much is it opens up a lot. Look, Shirley and I have found so many places. Good, not bad, good.
It has value. And that is the heartening part of, apart from all the, when you're online and all the squabbling and you have to throw people out and all that makes it a little bit not the, best experience. But when you go out and about and the people actually recognize you and come up to you and say, hey, thanks so much. The group is great. It helped me find these things. And then you hear from restaurant owners about, hey, thanks so much for doing what you did during the pandemic. You really helped us. You kept us going. You would promote, just tell people to keep supporting local and don't order through the food delivery services and come in and pick it up yourself. And, so that's gratifying to hear all that. And, but still, I would say that the fruit, and this came, it was a line from fellow co-founder and Sun Sentinel managing editor now, Gretchen Day Bryant. And she said, the fruit that should be given as a gift is sour grapes.
Chad, I don't see it the same way you guys do.
It was a joke.
Lubie doesn't either. Yeah,
I
mean, for all of the fetching, I mean, even this guy said the food was good there. It probably wasn't worth a nickel or a couple at this place you were talking about, and it was kind of funny the way they presented it on TV with all of the flash there at the. At
Grand Prix
racing thing, the Grand Prix.
LeBron ate there 4 nights in a row under the tent.
Well, he can afford it, man.
12 grand, I think he could afford. 12 grand.
He
That's what a cat
gas
surgery goes for.
The Lakers.
Guess he doesn't have any cats.
100 grand. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's brutal. That poor Lubie. That experience is terrible when you have to go to the emergency veterinarian room. Because you know right away you're getting whacked.
And look, pets are family members, so we'll do anything for them, and they know that. Yeah. That's the problem. And now, like you said, you didn't know that pet health insurance was a thing, and it's become a big thing. And,
it's harder to get though than flood insurance would be in Florida in the future. It really is.
I don't know.
Because you usually a giant ripoff, and you're thinking, I'll take a shot of it. But one thing happens, and as Lubie found out, it can get quite expensive. There's no doubt.
So I had a good weekend of eating. I'm going to get into that after the first break, but I did want to start off with a sports harangue. And, it's
what is your
Monday.
beef now, Mayo? Again, bitter about something.
So, okay. I thought I had turned a new leaf. I was becoming a sports fan again. I want to, get back into things. I was, cheering for the Dolphins and I was cheering for the Mets. And it wasn't even the fact that, things happened in the past week that was calamitous to both of those teams or potentially calamitous. And, I don't even want to get into the whole Tua thing. What amazed me about the Tua thing is like this level of vitriol and assumption of jumping to conclusions that, like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would the Dolphins want to put their best franchise quarterback, their best player and the guy who's finally looking like he's turning into something? Why would they want to put him at risk? Why does everybody
If
think
he had a
that
gimpy hamstring, they would have sat him out. That's the funny part. So if they thought that there was something wrong here, I don't believe that they wanted to play him. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened. Obviously, there's going to be all kinds of investigations. It seems a little goofy that, on that Sunday, he got up and it looked like he was shaking his head and then it turns into a back. But, he came back that day and he was with it and he had a good performance in the second half. And he, again, during the week, it's not like I don't think they would, deliberately hide any, symptoms of a concussion. On 3 days rest, I would think they would just rest him out of precaution. I think he was back into decent shape. And what the vitriol and the outrage should be directed towards for that game, in my mind, is the hit. The guy ragdolled him. He did that, threw him down and, threw him down with that extra hit. And it didn't even trigger a yellow flag. And I just didn't get why all the vitriol was directed at the Dolphins and their staff and the medical issues, as opposed to why didn't how about throw some vitriol at fellow players? Like the NFLPA is getting all up in arms about what the Dolphins and their medical staff did. Shouldn't the NFLPA going after the other player who is basically, I thought there was a rule against the ragdoll sack or that
I don't know that was that, though. I believe this, and we were talking about it earlier this morning, naturally, with the people we had on the show. But look, I'm a big boxing fan. And yet, from a morality standpoint, you're thinking, should this really be sanctioned? I mean, the name of the game is to try to knock somebody out.
Yeah, right. It's a brutal, football, violent thing. Yeah.
It's a sport where some of this stuff is going to happen because of the way the game is played. Not necessarily because the guy was in violation of the rules, but the guy tackled a guy. It was a rough tackle, no doubt. I don't know if it was
he pile
punishable
drive
by
I thought
a
it
flag.
Was over the line. It was a pile drive.
But you see hits like this all the time. I mean, did you see this Brian Hoyer thing yesterday? The guy literally was like flattened, like he was run over by a truck. But he happened to bounce his head on the ground. That's not good. And I guess they took him out, obviously, because he was off on a stretcher. But they cleared him to fly back on the plane that night from a medical center that's known for treatment of trauma and injuries of this type.
No, and you raise good points, because the logical conclusion to all this outcry and outrage, from the concussion experts and the medical
don't play football. I mean,
that the logical conclusion to this is the sport should be banned because it's inherently violent and brutal, and it's bad for your health, and it's going to cause long-term damage who anybody plays it. Anybody goes into it supposedly knowing that, and they know they're making a pact with the devil, where you're going to get fame and fortune and have maybe a career, and but you don't know how long it's going to last, but hopefully you make enough money that'll last for the rest of your life and take care of your family. But it could come at a greater cost. But the thing is now, if we're going to decide as a society that we don't want to see this and we don't want to have these kinds of injuries, then you have to banish the whole sport, like boxing or things like that. And is that the conclusion that the NFLPA wants, or that these concussion experts want? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
It's an unfortunate byproduct. I mean, one of the horrifying things is that we didn't see the long-term damage to these players, and nobody acknowledged it. And then you had all of these players dying at a young age and committing suicide and having all kinds of, horrific problems, dementia, and it was sad to see. But nobody paid any attention to it. It does seem like they're doing their best now, or trying to find ways to solve this problem. But you're never going to completely eradicate the game.
Yeah. Look, I'm glad that I have a daughter and not a son, and that she's a cheerleader and not playing football.
Don't let her play soccer, though.
Soccer is tough. But there's other sports out there for boys now. Baseball and basketball, a little bit easier on the head.
It could happen though in basketball very easily.
It can, but let's face it,
where guys get low bridged.
Now you sound like an apologist. Let's face facts. Basketball is much safer than football.
You're not hearing my thought. I mean, let me finish the thought for a second here. Okay. I mean, you see it happen where guys get hit and their head gets banged on the wood, which is horrible. I mean, you're not going to be able to eliminate all of this. Football is much more inclined to have this happen. I don't really want to believe that a independent medical person sat there and said, okay, I know this guy has a concussion. Never mind my license or my reputation. I'm going to go ahead and say he doesn't have one. It really is very much like James Woods in Any Given Sunday, when he was the team physician and he would let anybody play. Stuff like that is going to happen. He appeared to be fine. He came back, like you said, played the second half on that Thursday or that Sunday game, and was obviously doing okay in the game until he got hit like this. And
look,
it was kind of a fluke. Yeah,
I hope that everybody did their jobs properly, and it just ended up being an unfortunate coincidence of events that guy takes a hit on a Sunday and then takes another one on Thursday. Look, I'm going to leave that to the investigators and the professionals. The real point of my harangue was that I go into the weekend, and again, I'm trying to be a good sports fan. I was all pumped and primed for this Mets Braves series, and the Friday night game wasn't on any of my TVs. It was on I guess the SNY, and you have to subscribe to MLB, whatever. They always want money from
You still get nothing on your cable TV? I mean,
No,
you don't
no,
even get an MLB Network? Nothing?
No, I get MLB Network, but that
All right.
game wasn't on MLB Network. It was on
I think
the
it was.
MLB. No,
Oh, no,
it
they
wasn't.
might have had the Yankee game.
No,
They were
it
all
was
over
the
that.
Yankee game on Friday night. But in any event, my Dish Network has been for the last 2 years having a dispute with Fox. I don't get the regular Fox channel on my thing, so I couldn't watch the Saturday game. I woke up on Saturday morning, and it turns out Dish and ESPN were having a contract dispute. ESPN and all the affiliated ESPN and college networks that are part of the ESPN were off.
All off. Oh, nice.
The Dish on Saturday.
I would lose it.
And they did
How was that rerun of Barnaby Jones that you were
Exactly
watching
what
instead
it
of
was.
all of this exciting football?
I was still able to watch the horse racing, but I'm not betting on the races until Keeneland opens. I've been very good and disciplined with that. It's much more disciplined with my horse racing diet than my food diet. But the bottom line is, I was looking forward to this Sunday night Mets Braves game on ESPN for like the last week, and I couldn't get it. And then I get an email at 12 o'clock that they solved the dispute and ESPN was back on Dish Network right after the Mets lost and blew the whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? All they want is all this greed. Everybody's blaming everybody. You know, like the Dish is saying ESPN wanted $1 billion more for us, and they're just offsetting and subsidizing the losing streaming services. And the ESPN is saying Dish is being unreasonable. And all I know is, like, I pay for ESPN Plus already, like $15.99 a month in a bundle that when I tried to go on my Fire Stick to get the game on that last night, it didn't even recognize. It's like all these passwords, and I'm paying all this money, and it's like,
you have to start a TV Facebook page for your kvetching.
Me and Tom Jickler.
You would be the exact person that you didn't want to have subscribing to the thing, instead of talking about all the wonderful new programming that's on.
Yeah, but I can't watch the sports anymore. I wanted to be a sports fan, and all I did was get alienated this weekend.
You need to get rid of Dish Network.
Screw them. I'm gonna go eat. That's it. I'd rather pay my $500 at Carbone than have to pay like all this nickel and diming for every game I want to watch.
Nickel is the key word there.
And then my teams end up choking and anyway. So it's like, what's the point, Defo? I tried to be a sports fan, and now I'm just a bitter old man.
You were. You should be calling a sports talk show if there were any left in the area. I mean, you'd be able to call one of these sports talks.
I'm calling you,
you
but I
could
can't
call
even call
all
you
three.
Your phone got stolen.
Can you imagine it? I mean, who the hell is picking a phone out of a car in the 2 minutes that I was in this gas station? It's, I mean, you hear about it, you know, where people leave their purse there, like women leave their purse and they go pump gas, they go inside, and you know, somebody robs it right in front of everybody else and nobody says anything. But this I wasn't anticipating, and it is weird. I mean, it's almost like you're, you know, on Naked and Afraid all of a sudden.
No,
and
you
have
feel
no
very,
way to communicate
very
with
vulnerable
anybody.
when you don't have a phone. It's
People
like,
started calling the Mustang's phone. Friends of mine, well, of course, they wanted to make bets, but they started calling the Mustang's phone to see if they could get their action in because I wasn't responding, and would go immediately to voicemail, which would trigger the fact that maybe something was up.
Yeah, no,
but,
and again,
no, it's not ugly. I still trust people.
It gets
though.
a little concerning if he can't get through to you. It's like,
you know, could have checked out very easily. No doubt about that. I mean, there's a good chance that there was, you know, something catastrophic happening. But no, I'll live, and you know, it actually was kind of pleasant not having a phone in your hand for a couple of days. It really was. I think everybody should do this.
It is a good breather. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just throw your phone out for a while.
Sometimes I need a mental health break from
get away from it. Yeah. Because, you know, your habit is so strong to just go to it every couple of minutes.
Seconds. No, we become conditions. Our brains have been reprogrammed. You need
it was nice not having it. It really was.
Yeah, that's good. Enjoy. Hey, talk about like something enjoyable and something pleasurable and getting away from the modern life. Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's a Tropical Acres Monday, and you know what that means, Defo. Half-price wine night. We love half-price wine night, among many things at Tropical Acres. And it is like stepping back in time. It is like going back to the days of pay phones and sending telegraphs and congratulations to people instead of, you know, it's been there for 73 years, since 1949. But they're staying up with the times because they still have the great quality food and drinks and all the good wines. It's everything you want. It's a timeless classic, Defo. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of the airport and 95. And again, they have half-price wines on Monday and Tuesday. They have happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to 6:30. They have the early bird going from 4:30 to 5:30. They have the loyalty card for every 12 entrees that you purchase, you get the 13th one free. And I'm looking forward to my next visit, which might be tonight, because I have that fully punched card. So I'm going to get an entree on the house. The Studiali family, they're masters of hospitality. They also have the butcher shop open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day but Sunday, so that you could go in and get all your favorite cuts of meat to throw on the grill at home. Tropical Acres, it's one of my favorites. I think it's also one of Defoe's and Lubie's too. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
Always enjoy the place. It's always a nice experience. A lot of people, you're looking for consistency. How about 72 years worth? Just amazing with top-level stuff and very reasonable prices. You could eat there actually with your daughter 5 times for that one shot of the Dune, or whatever that is. So something to take into consideration in these tough inflationary times. It really is.
It really is. It's a great deal. And again, they're open every day but Sunday. Go check them out. We love Tropical Acres.
All right, we're coming back with more on a Lunchbox. Fetching Mike Mayo about his TV situation.
No. We're coming back. We're going to have
Lubie gets creamed for 5 dimes on a cat. I lose my phone and all communications with life and connections.
But we're having fun.
And you know what? You're belly aching about Dish TV still, which weren't they kind of like subpar even when
I love their service.
There was Direct TV. Well, because you got the second racing channel. That was it.
Right. Because they are horse racing friendly, and they were also always more reasonable, and they have great customer service. So I was a Dish fan.
But I mean, a bird takes a leak and they go off.
No, that's
for
Dish
like a half hour.
The way
That's
my
what I mean.
Dish, the satellite was pointed from my house. Not Dish. I'm sorry, I couldn't get Direct TV. I had a big issue with Direct TV. But all right, that's it. You know what? And again, perspective. Last week I was saying, all you got to do is look west, and you see all the suffering and all the stuff going on in the West Coast. And you know what? We're losing that already. So I shouldn't be complaining about anything. But it's a radio show. We've got to
2 more days of that lobster roll, actually, from Wicked Cheesesteaks.
Oh, nice.
That was delicious.
Really
that
nice.
was really, really
after
good.
the break.
Yeah. All right, coming back with more in a moment.
You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back here on the Lunchbox Monday, streaming on the South Florida Live Networks, YouTube, Facebook. Let's Eat South Florida.
Dig the comments, too. The comments are great today from the people.
Oh, yeah, good.
Fantastic.
See that green-eyed girl?
We love the green-eyed girl.
The people who were trying to phone you up were saying perhaps whoever had you in the Deadpool thought that they won.
That would have been a premature evaluation to pay off on that one. You know how that happens once in a while where they pay off on a bet and it turns out it gets reversed?
He's alive. 5 shots and he's still alive.
No, feeling pretty good, actually. It's a shame because I was having such a good day when the phone got ripped off, and I had switched it up. We've been playing tennis on Saturday mornings with my son, and it was beautiful, absolutely tremendous. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, you feel I didn't feel violated like a lot of people do when they get robbed of something, but it is a strange feeling, to know that happened
I never
in a
told
5-minute span.
I never told you the story about when I got robbed twice at in a half hour in the
At
in
gunpoint in New York? Where were you?
no,
Peter
in
Luger's?
Amsterdam,
Oh.
in the red light district of Amsterdam. The first one was with a knife. The second time was
Oh, geez.
what the guy said was an AIDS-infected needle. This was
Oh,
back
I
in
thought
the
it was a
early
wooden
90s.
shoe. Yeah.
I just bolted. The second guy, I had nothing left, so I just ran. It's like, I already gave. I got nothing
You just,
left.
turn your pockets inside out and say, well, what do you want from me? I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just there as a
What were you
tourist.
doing hanging around there anyway, Mike?
Nah, when you're in Amsterdam, you got to take
Yeah, I
in the
guess you
sights
do
and
as the
sounds.
natives do, for sure.
So let's get back into the food. And I'm in a much better mood when it comes to the food
Yeah.
this past weekend than the whole sports stuff. And
All right.
first of all, it started off great at Wicked Cheesesteaks, and we have to welcome Brian and crew to the Lunchbox officially as sponsors on board now, and that's great.
What a nice job they did for us on
Yeah,
Friday. That was a lot of
Tremendous.
fun.
And it was a beautiful cheesesteak. And I was telling my daughter about the place, how we got to go up there because I know she likes cheesesteaks. And I said they have lobster rolls too. And she goes, "That's a weird combination." I explained that Brian is from Maine and his wife is from the Philadelphia area. And she goes, "Oh, okay, I get it." And when you go in there, you'll get it too because they have such great food. And so
pizza was good
them.
too. I really enjoyed
Pizza
that.
was
Pizza.
good.
Yeah.
I can't wait. We didn't cut the tape spot from yet, so I'm going to sing their praises now and just say that we're going to be in there doing remote shows once a month, and it's at 4824 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, right across from Holy Cross Hospital, just south of Commercial Boulevard. And a really comfy place. And I love that vibe in that side room there where you could just sit and eat, have a nice little lunch, and then go play some old school video games. I love those old school video games. I don't know about you, but good
Usually,
place.
when I was playing, well, they didn't have those when I was in college, but you were usually accompanying that activity with like a can of Hormel chili or Dinty Moore beef stew. When you were playing video games at a young age. It was nice too. They had the outside tables, and you can always tell when the service people go there, like the local police, fire, and hospital workers.
When
it's a good spot.
When the first responders are going in there, make it their usual stop. They're doing something right. And, you go check them out. It's at wickedcheesesteaks.com, and they're open for lunch and dinner. I think he said they're closed on, what was it, on
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. And
but
they're
then
open on
Wednesday, they
Sundays
have
and
that
Mondays.
2 for 1 thing. That would be the time to try it. 5 to 8.
And those
2 for
wings
1
are
on
really
cheesesteaks, and the wings were great. Yeah, they really
wings were great. 2 for 1 cheesesteaks on Wednesdays. Go check it out and give them your support because I'm glad I finally made it in there. And again, talk about a place that a lot of people from Let's Eat South Florida have been going there for a couple of years and singing their praises. And sometimes I'm a little late to the party, but now I am glad to be part of it. Wicked Cheesesteaks. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
No, it's great. And you know what? I found out about that place. I tried that because of Let's Eat South Florida. Costa's, you turned me on to, but I also would have gone there due to Let's Eat South Florida. And that Oat Tapas and American Tapas.
American Tapas on
I tried only because of Let's Eat South Florida.
You got to try the sandwich joint. Yeah. I tried Anthony's Clam House partly because of you, but mainly because it always gets ringing endorsements on the group. And
great value.
That's an Italian, kind of a red sauce Italian American joint that's not going to set you back $500 a couple.
No.
I went in there with my daughter. The two of us ate, and I also had a glass of wine, and the whole tab came up to I think it was barely $60. It was like $25 a person. It was great. It was a great value.
Still a tremendous lunch special there. They really do a great job on that.
And
very cheap. Very cheap.
We've got all kinds of good stuff on that commercial. The broad shoulders sandwiches where we went with Nikki Mohan.
And
you got to get in there.
Pizza that is right down the street.
That's a Detroit.
What is that? Steel drum pizza? What is that?
No, Blue Steel, which is the type of pan they use for the Detroit pizza pies, and that was a good interesting place. Oh, and speaking of Nikki Mohan, visit Lauderdale. We're gonna the Dine Out Lauderdale is officially over, but we're working on. We're going to be doing all kinds of things with the Visit Lauderdale people coming up. We're going to be back and doing remote shows toward the end of the month. It's Oktoberfest. We might get into a German place. Also, the boat show is coming up. I think we're going to spend a day out at the boat show and see all
Fort
the
Lauderdale.
Yeah, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show is coming up the last
You're
weekend
going to
in
be at
October.
Gilbert's the whole time. I don't know. You're going to try any
No,
other
we're going to be
sponsor?
they put up this, they create this whole food village because there's so many people coming through and so much money coming through
Nice.
those few days. We're going to see what kind of culinary delights await at the boat show. And again, the Visit Lauderdale is an official co-presenter of the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show.
Nice.
So looking forward to catching up with Nikki and also Stacy Ritter, the head of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Greater Fort Lauderdale. We're going to be having some fun times with them. And again, check out all that's going on at visitlauderdale.com. And we'll do more of that with them later in the month. And I wanted to tell you about let's see. Tom T is saying 25% off food check today at Tom's Louisiana Kitchen. It's a Lanyap Monday. We love just promoting all the people who've been good to us and who are good.
25% off on that stuff? He's not charging enough to begin with.
Well,
Does he just want to go out of business? Well, what's
no,
he doing,
he's a
Tommy?
generous soul. He epitomizes the hospitality
wow.
business. He wants to make people happy and not make them feel like they're getting ripped off. That's why we love Tom T. So let me tell you about my day on Saturday, gentlemen.
Okay,
I don't know if you guys did any eating out, but I kind of had a fun triple header, and it started off
triple header.
Yeah, and you know what?
Hey, Lubie.
I told you.
Nurse. Call a doctor. Call a nurse.
It started off with a liquid lunch at our friends Primo Liquors and Farms.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to ask about
Sam and Kaushal, they're great. And,
how's Sam doing? He's a really good guy.
Sam is doing really well. He had a good summer. He traveled a bit. He went to Red Rocks and did some hiking and exploring, and they're doing a lot of time.
Red Rock in Las Vegas?
No, Red Rocks is Colorado. It's
Colorado. Okay,
good.
Red Rock Canyon, I think of.
Yeah, concert venue is there, and also they've been spending a lot of time in Louisville at the distillery that they're working on. I told him the Breeders' Cup is coming up at Keeneland in Lexington, and he didn't know much about that, but he said, "Hey, if you want to go up to Louisville and then and spend a couple of nights there at the at their little condo distillery place," I said, "Well, it's a little bit of a drive, but who knows? We could always."
I think it's like maybe what is it? An hour and a hook?
Yeah, so maybe if we want to do we could do a day.
It'd be tough to get tickets for the Breeders' Cup unless you use.
We know people.
Yeah.
We know people. That I don't mind calling in a couple of favors. Carbone, I don't want to call in any favors, but we know people. Kate and Braydon and all that people at TVG, FanDuel, but we'll see.
I think I still have those pictures of Schrupp running to the window when he was doing a handicap at a Calder. I might be able to get some consideration there. That'll be.
I have stories about poker games, and he for a while he was subsidizing my my restaurant habit so that was good. Yeah. So Todd Trump back in the day at Calder, those were the days. All right, so I started at Primo Liquors. It was their first anniversary of their Sunrise Boulevard location across from the Galleria, and boy, did they put on a party! They had all these different wineries and distilleries come in, just pouring free drink, and it's smart because baby mama Michelle went up there before I got there. I told her.
It's also your ex-wife.
Yes, my ex-wife Michelle. Sorry about
that. I've been asked by certain people to do clarifications every time.
Yeah, no, that's the term she likes. She doesn't like being called ex-wife.
I'm not buying it.
Just
call her Michelle. We know who you're talking about now. It's like the Mustang. Yeah.
She went up there, and of course, she takes a couple of tastings. Next thing you know, she's buying 6 bottles, and that's all. That's smart business. She has her holiday wine. I went in there. I had a couple of excellent Penfolds, $3.89. Oh my God, it tasted like gold, and I bought a couple of bottles of that. So I've got some bottles for the holidays. We love Primo. We're going to be doing some things with them again. Going to be talking to them about doing some collaborations, maybe some dinner. It's all exciting, Fall is a time where people are going to be coming back to town and the things are going to be starting to happen again. So that's all good. But it was nice to get in there and have a few sips of wine and catch up with them. And then I went down to a place called Fireman Derek's, which is this it's a bakery pie shop that has all kinds of great cakes and stuff. It started as a food truck. The guy, Fireman Derek, was a Miami firefighter who got hurt on the job, had to take a disability, and then he they basically refocused and became this accomplished pastry chef. He started with trucks, and then he got a brick and mortar in Wynwood. Now he's got 3 locations, including the one that's about to open in Fort Lauderdale, right on Federal Highway. Was in there, and they were giving out all kinds of, free samples, and brought some goodies home for my mom and for my daughter, and that was great. And then after that, I went up to Coconut Creek, an Italian place, new place called Truly Italian. A guy who's an accomplished restaurateur. He's worked all over the country. He has this new concept, and it's going to be also more affordably priced Italian food, where you kind of build your own pasta bowls with different shapes and different sauces, but they also have the things like the chicken parm. Anyway, I had a lovely dinner with Doug and his wife, and we caught up a little bit because I knew him from the past. So that was a nice day on Saturday. A lot of drinking and eating, and I kind of went in reverse order. I was drinking, and then I had dessert, and then I had the food. So that's it.
I'm jealous of your weekend. I wish we had focused more on that.
Yeah, I didn't have to start pulling strings out of cats.
Lubie won't be eating out for 5 times?
I think it's about 2024. Late 2024 is when you'll next see Lubie and Shirley traveling.
And you'll never see me with the cell phone at the table again.
All right, let's take our final break of the day, and then we'll come back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox. Like people.
We're doing this one. That's what we're doing.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. Then there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. From our And we're back on the Lunchbox. I think we're done with the spots for the day. It's a little fluid. It's the first show of October. Things are constantly changing. We got new sponsors on board. Again, we're happy to have Wicked Cheesesteaks, and Grandpa's is back in the fold now that we're in the high holiday season and soon the snowbird season. And again, it's going to be Yom Kippur starting tomorrow night. And Grandpa's, great place to get all your provisions for breaking the fast. the bagels, the fish, the smoked.
Are you fasting, Mike Mayo? By the way, fast move to the fridge. I think would be.
Yeah, so I did my fast prematurely this year in advance
then.
of the colonoscopy, so I consider that in the WinCom. And
qualifies.
my mom is at the age now where she, physically can't fast. So we're going to be taking Wednesday off here on the show. I just want to give a programming note. We're all going to be, again, being very solemn and contemplative and appreciative on Wednesday. And we're going to have a little early break the fast meal with my mom. My daughter is off from school, and she's actually going to join us on Wednesday. It's going to be a nice day. So that's all good.
This is the occasion where you atone for all of your sins for the year in one day?
Yes. And Day of Atonement.
What are you talking about, man?
You gotta, fess up to your sins, apologize to those that you have wronged.
Sorry, everybody.
Settle all debts.
All the people I stiffed. I'm sorry.
And pray hard that you get sealed in the book of life for the upcoming year. I like the symbolism. I don't know if I believe all the stuff, but anyway,
I'm not sure it's possible to be absolved of all guilt and sins, in one day after 364 of debauchery.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today. Hey, so, tomorrow is National Taco Day, and also we're supposed to talk with offensive line coach of the Bucks, Joe Gilbert.
Is he going to do it?
Base with him.
After that game?
It was a tough game for the O-line, tough game for the Bucks. But he's a man. He's going to.
They scored a lot of points. Food. I mean,
he's a friend of Joey's, and I'm sure he'll lick his wounds.
He'll do it.
We'll talk about food. I'm going to touch base with him. And I was kind of shameless because I was soliciting people because tomorrow's National Taco Day. I love doing remotes. Maybe, like I was saying, if anybody happens to have a Mexican restaurant or a place that serves tacos, DM me. Maybe we can come on out tomorrow.
I'm open to it. It can be a
that'd be nice.
Thing. I'm down.
We'll see.
Or
you
can finally try the tacos you've been condemning at the tip tomorrow night with Joe
Casal. I can do that. It's too late for the show, but I can definitely do that.
JP Soares and Terry Hank on the same
except
night.
For the fact that it is already Kol Nidre, and I will be busy.
You'll be done. That's right. Nobody will be there. It's the feast of unlimited seating, as Leslie Visser calls it. Any restaurant you go to, you can get a reservation easy on that Tuesday night.
So, all good. All right, that's going to do it for today's Lunchbox. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for putting up with my harangues and diatribes. But we'll be back.
You're only so fetchy today for a Monday. Not too bad. I mean,
the first half was a little fetchy.
All right.
Bit. That's it. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember to enjoy every sandwich.